Hi friends, Miss Mindy here for story time, and this time we're going to read Randy Riley's Really Big Hit. Remember, during story time we have listening ears, we have a quiet mouth, keep our hands to ourselves when we sit in a chair with our feet on the floor. There he is. Do you know what he's playing? What sport is that? It's baseball. Randy Riley stood at bat. He gazed out at the mound. His knees began to tremble and his heart began to pound. Then Randy started thinking about the pitcher's throw. He wondered, without gravity, how far would the ball go? And as he stood there pondering, strike three went whizzing by. "You're out!" he heard the umpire call, then walked off with a sigh. He said his heart was pounding. "Where's your heart?" "It's in your chest right here," and it pounds. See, Randy was a genius. He just couldn't hit the ball. He struck out every time. At bat, he wasn't good at all. But something beyond baseball brought a smile to Randy's face. What Randy Riley really loved was stuff from outer space. He studied all the planets. He memorized their tilt. He researched how the thrusters on the rocket ships were built. He knew the constellations and the light years to the stars, and wouldn't it be great, he thought, to ride a bike on Mars? He really likes outer space. Where's outer space? It's way up high in the sky. When Randy Riley got back home, he went into his room. He knew he stunk at baseball and filled his heart with gloom. So he looked at his favorite robots from the shelf above the bed and staged a game of baseball with his robot team instead. It's his robot team. I happen to have some robots right here. It's a robot. And this is a robot. Say robot. Robot. The night before he went to sleep, Randy scanned the sky, and through his Space Boy telescope, a glimmer caught his eye. He fiddled with the focus till he saw it crystal clear. It was a massive fireball, and it was coming near. Alarmed, he started plotting the projection of its path. He formulated diagrams. He double-checked his math. He calculated quickly and concluded with a frown. In 19 days, the fireball would crash into town. And he's looking through his telescope at the fireball. It's coming near. Randy Riley flew downstairs to warn his mom and dad. The impact would be major and the damage would be bad. He explained the situation until his face was red, but they told him he was tired and they sent him off to bed. They didn't quite believe him. Poor Randy couldn't sleep at all. He thought the whole night through. By morning, it was obvious just what he had to do. He gathered what he needed with determined resolution and lugged it off behind the shed to work on a solution. It's all his stuff. He's going to make a plan. What is this? It's a rocket. Point to the rocket. Rocket. Randy toiled for 18 days while other kids had fun, but he was on a mission, so he worked till he was done. At breakfast on the 19th day, the news announcer said, "This is a special bulletin. Emergency! Code red. A fireball's approaching. It just flew past the moon. It's coming fast, so be prepared for it to hit by noon." His mom tossed the breakfast. And it looks like Dad spit out some coffee because they couldn't believe what they were hearing. Everybody burst outside as fear and panic grew, but Randy ran back to the shed. He had a job to do. He went running back to his stuff to try to make a plan and help everybody. He grabbed the tarp and gave a tug. It slid off to reveal the mighty mammoth, the robot man. He welded out of steel. The mighty robot man. The robot needed power, and Randy knew precisely that 97 batteries would energize it nicely. The eyes lit up. The engine whirled. Step one was now complete. So far, so good, thought Randy. Then they thundered down the street. Step two of Randy's mission took place just south of town in the section known as Millville, where he slowed the robot down. The robot ripped the smokestack off an old abandoned mill. Then Randy turned the throttle knob to march him up the hill. And he took the smokestack. What is he going to do with that? Back in town, the people were as frightened as could be, but Randy knew the time had come for critical step 3. The robot burst out through the trees, stepped up, and took a stance, while everyone fell silent as if frozen in a trance. Randy's eye was on the ball, no room for error now. 3, 2, 1, and flip the switch and swoosh, and then there's the fireball coming. Kapow! A blinding flash, a booming crash. He knew what he had done. Randy Riely had hit his very first home run. The fireball sailed out of sight. A rousing cheer began. Hooray for Randy Riely and his giant metal man! And as the crowd went crazy, Randy stood there with a grin and mumbled, how predictable, a fastball. Whoa, and in. There it goes flying away. When things returned to normal after Randy saved the day, he went back to his baseball field to join his friends and play. And threw his swings in earnest. He rarely hit the ball, but that's okay because Randy's had the biggest hit of all. There's that robot again. So he was determined to make a plan to help everybody in his town, and he succeeded. Thank you for joining me for story, and I will see you soon. Bye.